I have some good news and some bad news regarding Star Trek. On one hand, the single worst piece of Star Trek related content has released. And on the other hand, it's been a week and nobody cares. Section 31 came and went. Michelle Yeoh's $12 million paycheck cashed. And the only thing that was really lost was any remaining and lingering assertion that Star Trek could be revived in today's day and age. Kurtzman Trek has killed the franchise. Stone cold dead. And the fact that you forgot Section 31 even released is just proof positive of that, because there is so much content, right? Like, even in contrast, because you've got the old classic example, right? Like, you've got Star Trek versus Star Wars, and Star Trek Section 31 makes the worst Star Wars stuff look almost good. But here's the thing, like, how much Star Wars stuff is coming out this year, right? Like, you just had Skeleton Crew wrap up, and that came and went. They've got Andor Season 2, and that's it. Okay, like, there's a threat of a movie coming out next year, and maybe one after that. Who knows? We have no confirmation on that. But Star Trek, when it comes to series and movies, like, there's, 2 or 3 animated shows. There's another live-action one. There's the Strange New Worlds is out, and you've got Legacy and a whole bunch of other crap. Like, it's not good, but at least there is stuff coming out. It's ultimately doing more damage to the brand than anything else. And I guess there is a little bit of hope that's out there, but it's mostly just, kind of doing away and potentially fridging the brand for a while when Skydance does take over. But Skydance comes with its own problems, as opposed to Paramount just giving a blank check and open road to Kurtzman. But ultimately, you won't have to see Michelle Yeoh's stupid miscast ass in another project ever again. Star Trek Section 31, the new Star Trek show starring Michelle Yeoh, is not just weak, not just bad, but astoundingly awful. According to the reviewer, let me state for the record, I love Star Trek. By Star Trek, you mean, the original series. First few original series movies, most of Enterprise, Voyager, Next Generation, a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I don't really care, man. Like, I can see from the outside looking in as somebody who is ambivalent towards Star Trek. It's like, it's something that I never watched. I had friends who loved Deep Space Nine. I don't know why that was so difficult to say. Seeing episodes of Voyager on in the background whenever I'd be at their house, or I've seen my fair share of clips from TNG or from TOS. But I can't tell you, right? Because Kurtzman Trek starting with Discovery in, what was that, 2018 or something like that? Like, I have seen, like, outside of just the meme of Mike Burnham just crying all the time, don't hear anything about this stuff. Like, it's wild. Like, you have such a prominent science fiction franchise like Star Trek, and there's just been nothing said about it for the better part of a decade. It's wild to think, and there's been so much content out there. So the script, awful and pointless and utterly un-Trek as we know it, throwing in some races and forms that we know, that we like, and no, won't do it. At least in the finale of Picard, it got the band back together. It was a fun and terminal moment. This gets a band of nobodies with no charm, no wit, no style, and just noisy chatter together in a way that is, well, boring. Of course, it's loud, clangy, noisily shot, edited, and designed, that's for sure. And yeah, what was some of the rumors and some of the production news that came out where they just repurposed a bunch of Discovery sets in order to keep the budget low? Because, Michelle Yeoh, unironically, had to get paid $12 million for this action. I may have one of the world's premier martial arts actress as your star, but she's in her 60s. You'd think at least some good fight scenes featuring her would be winning, but no, of course not. Putting on a rather expert director hat on here for a moment. When you shoot a scene that in cuts, zooms, slow-mo blurs, with endlessly fast-moving shots, then I guess you think enhance the action that they actually do and make it pointless. It's impossible to follow or appreciate. Yep. And as such, you end up with a movie who is appreciated by nobody, remembered by even few, and just another blemish on a once great track record. This is pathetic, man. 22%, okay? All critics 22%. Top critics, 20%. Like, what was the worst review, okay? The one that really stuck out was IGN, man. 100 minutes of generic schlock containing only trace elements of Star Trek. And bro, you'd be wild to think that even IGN could count this low, but the fact of the matter remains that this, at the end of the day, got a 2? I don't even think that it's possible that IGN could even give something like this such a low rating. Like, what's the meme? meme, an IGN-7, even if it's absolute dog water. You remember Dragon Age the Veilguard got a 9 for Christ's sakes. This gets a 2? What are we doing? And it's leading to Elon Musk, okay, because this right here is a little interesting, okay, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this, well, in so much as, you know, looking at once prominent franchises getting beat about the head by a bunch of talentless hacks is something that I like to do on this channel, but Elon Musk heavily rumored to boldly go into Paramount takeover to make Star Trek great again. How is he gonna do this, okay, because that's interesting, and I didn't know, but even though it's like, it's not exactly the biggest leap to think that he's a Trekkie. But how could Elon do this? Okay, well, Elon Musk buy Paramount. That could be interesting because he was floating the idea, right? Like at the beginning of the year when it was very clear that MSNBC was going to be looking to be spun out from NBC proper and sold out by Comcast. You know, it was floated by Elon, oh, maybe I buy MSNBC. And then that gave Joy Reid an opportunity to bug her eyes out even further and then just, you know, yell about the Rocket Man being so bad. But I guess he's moved on to greener pastures. More importantly, Elon is trying to save Star Trek from Alex Kurtzman. Many believe so based on some recent events surrounding the sale of Star Trek owner Paramount. Okay. In a dramatic twist, a consortium of investors calling themselves Project Rise Partners has reportedly made a last-minute $13.5 billion all-cash bid, I beg your pardon, to acquire Paramount Global, challenging an earlier deal spearheaded by Larry Ellison and Skydance Media. Interesting. This unexpected offer not only raises the stakes for Paramount's future, but it has also sparked intense speculation about the mysterious backers behind the bid, which made the world wonder, could Elon be attempting to save Star Trek? Well, you would imagine, right? Because Paramount, like, it's wild, because in a previous video earlier this week, we just looked at the best streaming shows, or the most watched streaming shows of 2024, and like the top 10 list was overwhelmingly dominated by Netflix, but Paramount has like the Taylor Sheridan suite of projects, and they're still in the shape that they're in. It's wild to think about, but okay, I don't really think, and especially at this point in time, like if it was a thriving franchise, I don't really think that Star Trek could be to Paramount what Marvel could be to Disney. Like it's never been that big of a mover and shaker. But a healthy Star Trek could end up laying, you know, fertile ground for other projects to foster and drive the market. Like the Taylor Sheridan stuff definitely can. Like that guy's a force in and of himself. Bringing in old boomer-aged actors to just go ahead and, you know, be as based as possible. He's really good at doing that, and a lot of people watch his stuff. And so a successful series like Star Trek with multiple shows in production, that could lead to something good. So yeah, I guess if from a certain point of view, I know not a Star Trek thing, right? This Project Rise Partners could be trying to save Star Trek in order to make Paramount great again. According to Variety, Project Rise Partners submitted their superior bid on Friday. Just as Skydance Media and Redbird Capital Partners, the deal was nearing completion. The proposal offers $19 per Class B share, a 27% premium over Skydance's $15 per share, and includes a $2 billion boost to Paramount's balance sheet. A bid's attractiveness has thrown a wrench into what seemed to be a done deal. Yeah, because even in reference at the beginning, I didn't know there was anybody coming in at the last second hoping to undercut Skydance. Like I thought it was done. Okay, with the identities of the investors behind Project Rise Partners remaining undisclosed, a few tantalizing details have emerged. Sources described one of the backers as one of the richest men in the world, and another as a pioneer in the satellite industry. Naturally, speculation has turned towards Elon Musk, the tech mogul and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. Yeah, okay. Because those are such broad and vague descriptions, like Elon could fit that, or Jeff Bezos could fit that, if we're being completely honest. All right, like he's got his dick-shaped rockets and he's one of the richest men on earth. So who knows? Musk's credentials fit the description perfectly as the world's wealthiest individual, with the net worth exceeding $430 billion. And yeah, given the fact that he bought Twitter for $44.3 billion, if my memory serves me correctly, like $19 billion, you know, that's just a drop in the pond to his overall net worth. And a healthy and thriving Paramount with the number of franchises and IPs that they have under their control, like, if they turn it around, like that's a moneymaker, man. Like that's That's one of the foundational Hollywood studios. Like, it's wild. But anyways, Starlink's satellite constellation has reshaped global connectivity, cementing his reputation as a pioneer in cutting-edge technology. Could the billionaire now have a sight set on Hollywood and more specifically Star Trek? Well, yeah, he's been flirting with the idea of getting into the entertainment space. So I guess let's just play it along. Interestingly, the idea of Musk rescuing Star Trek isn't new. Last August, William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself, took to X to suggest that Musk should take control of the franchise. Shatner remarked his remark was half serious, but quickly gained traction among fans who have been disappointed with Kurtzman Trek. So, does that mean you're buying Paramount? According to William Shatner, the phrase "Make Star Trek Great Again" soon emerged as a rallying cry, echoing fans' frustrations with the franchise's current direction. And to cut things short, this dickhead's contract is apparently up in October, and especially with new management very much on the horizon at Paramount, it looks like the dark days could be drawing to a close, or perhaps they think because there's so many projects that are in development, whoever's coming in will just go, you can stay there. Just, he knows what's going on, so you could just go ahead and continue to buoy this franchise further. Just eventually turn it around. He says he knows what he's doing, and the people around here thinks he knows what he's doing. So just whatever, leave him in place. Or this Project Rise partners really are that monkey wrench that Hollywood desperately needs. Maybe they can go in there, kind of like with the acquisition of Twitter, just show that you can make a couple of foundational changes, and then in a not inconsequential amount of time, you can see other like-minded and competing platforms adopt the changes that made them popular to begin with. Because you remember when Elon Musk came in and let it sink in, if you recall, he made a bunch of changes. And what was it? Within the past couple of months or so, we've seen Mark Zuckerberg and the Meta suite of platforms start to change course. Yeah, Hollywood can change just as quickly. Okay, there's a little bit of an overhang when it comes to some of this holdover content that they have in the can right now, but in very short order. Okay, within the next couple of years or so, within the next 2 to 3 years, things could really change for the better. And no, I don't need to have, the next captain rocking a comb over, having a mega cap, or make space great again cap. Don't need that at all whatsoever. That won't get me into Star Wars or Star Trek, whatever. I'm just saying, go back to making the stuff that made fans of this franchise super happy. Go back and make the next Captain Kirk. Make the next generation. And at this point in time, I even think that people would settle for the next Voyager. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.